Hey y'all, welcome, welcome. I am Mel Morris, your tarot life planner, helping you to connect within to plan the life that you're meant for. And today I'm also trying, y'all know I like to be extra. So I am trying to also stream on Instagram on my phone. So we're going to see if this all works so that people can find me everywhere because I need to be better about using Instagram, y'all. So we'll see. But so, hey, everybody, happy Scorpio season. We're in November now. And the one thing that I really want everybody to think about before we even get into the card for this week and all of that, if you watched my video, okay, Jay, hey, I see you over there. If you watched the weekly video, hopefully you saw the beginning where I talked about the fact that this week, and not just this week, but this month really is kind of the dark and broody mode of our year. So we've entered into Scorpio season starting like a week or so ago, and most of November we're in Scorpio season. Now, Scorpio energy, I have a couple of good friends in Scorpio. You all hopefully have seen some of my partners in crime with my magical cartographers. Two of them are actually Scorpios. And the one thing that Scorpio really represents, really wants to focus in on is around transformation. And so transformation can't happen unless things end. You got to get rid of the old shit. We talk about this all the time. Things have to end or die away in order to make space, to make room, to prepare us for something new. It happens with the seasons. It happens, if you've ever done any gardening. But in our personal lives, things have to die off in order to make space for something new. And Scorpio really is that energy, really embodies that energy of things dying off so that we can really transform ourselves into a different version if we allow it to. And the reality is that that cycle happens whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So the goal is to make our lives a little bit easier by embracing it. And tomorrow is actually the new moon. So the topic today is around checking in on our journey, both with the Six of Swords, which was the card that we had for this week. And I will pop it up on the screen in a little bit for the Facebook folks. But both with the Six of Swords and with this new moon. So new moons happen when the moon and the sun are together. That's why the sky is dark. And the energy around the new moon is just like the darkness, just like I was describing to with Scorpio. It's the quiet, dark time that we need to use to start the process of setting our intentions for what's coming. So think about it as like you go to bed at night, everything is dark and quiet. You are building your strength, building your energy, preparing your body physically for the day ahead. So that's kind of that new moon energy. So it's about setting intentions. And since we're in Scorpio, this is a new moon in Scorpio, now is the time to really think about, and I know I talk a lot about releasing because it's super important and we don't do it enough, but it's really the time to prepare ourselves and being really intentional. We set intentions with the new moon, being really intentional about what it is we're letting go. So think about this for a minute. If you're in a relationship, whether it's intimate or with friends, and you get to a point where things are done, it's over with, but you let it linger and linger and linger. At some point, you just kind of wear yourself out and you end it, or they end it, or things just end up really ugly. versus taking the opportunity to be really intentional and say, okay, I know that this isn't working, and this is maybe why it's not working. I know this isn't working. I need to let it go. How can I be really intentional about this? So I'm not, just being hurtful, just being mean, just being frustrated and taking that out on the other person and harming myself and potentially this other person. Same idea. So with this new moon, we're going to be setting some new intentions. And if you've got any questions about that, pop them in the chat. But starting with being really intentional about where you want to see yourself on the other side. So I will pop up the card for today, and I'll show it over here to the IG folks. Trying to be out of the way of the other camera there. So this was actually the card that I pulled this week for our business, which is super important in that placement. But it was the card that really jumped out the most to me this week as an overall message, because this really is about connecting to that journey, connecting to preparing for where we want to go. So if we're not taking the time to step back and checking in and saying, okay, it's November, the holidays are coming, we're going to be overwhelmed with, either things, I don't want to say shut down, but things kind of closing. People are not as focused on what's coming ahead. Now is really the time to think about this journey. Think about the journey that we're going through, whether it's in your personal life, your career, wherever in your life. Think about this journey and really ask yourself, what are my intentions moving into the new year? Thinking about this time of the year as the release, the closing, the okay, I got to let shit fall away so that I can be ready for what's coming up. Because now, most people don't start this time of year a new project because, again, holidays, things are going to be closed. People are not really focused now. So this is the ideal time for you to start thinking about, what do I want to be doing in 2022? In every area of your life. If there's something that's especially stuck, focus on that. But in any area of your life, think about, what is it that I'm really hoping for, I want to see coming up for me next year. And think really big. I'm never going to tell you to think small. Think really big. Don't limit yourself here. But as you think about that journey and where you are on the other side, and what I love about this card is, if I can get a little closer on for the Instagram folks, what I love about this card is, the woman in the boat and the person in the back, both are like without vision. Her eyes are closed. He appears to be blind, yet they're on this boat. They're taking this journey. They're moving forward. They're pushing through without sight, without focusing on, we don't see what's happening. We're moving. And that really is this dark energy of this time of the year of Scorpio energy, is to remember that it's not always bright, right? The sun's not always shining. It's important to focus on what happens in the dark, where we're setting our intentions, where we're preparing ourselves. That's what gets us ready for what's coming next. People don't want to focus on the shadow work or the shit that's not working. It's not always fun. It's not always warm and fuzzy, but life is not always warm and fuzzy. But we have choices that we can make every single day. And now, new moon Scorpio with this Six of Swords. Swords is all about our thoughts, the ways that we communicate with folks. This is the time that we have to really allow ourselves to go in the ugly darkness or the beautiful darkness, however you choose to look at it, and start preparing for what's ahead. Okay. So, like I said, tomorrow is the new moon in Scorpio. And so if you think about, again, setting your intentions, and we do this every month with new moon energy, we want to set our intentions. What is it that you see? I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the things that are coming up for you? What are some of the themes that you really want to see coming up next year? Because now we want to plant the seeds now. We want to write these things down. We want to really allow ourselves this dreamy, dark time to vision what we want. And when I say do it big, think big, yeah, I mean, why limit yourself? Why say, oh, well, I hope I get a little raise next year. I hope this little tiny thing happens. Screw that. Why? Why not allow yourself to really sit in, see yourself in that big vision, in that big picture thing happening? Close your eyes and go on this journey with the Six of Swords. Allow yourself to dream, to believe and know that there is so much more out there. So what I want you to do today, tomorrow, the energies around new moons, full moons is kind of 2 days before and after. Some people say 3, but really sit and think about where you want to go, where next year potentially, where you want it to lead you. And we'll talk more throughout this month about pushing yourself, telling yourself, reminding yourself that the things that you want and desire, they're yours. You have to start really saying, like, this is mine. Not, I hope this thing happens. This is mine. I'm going to sit here, take the time to really vision what's happening, really make sure that I am putting myself out there for these things to happen. But now I want you to sit down, write down, think about the things that you are manifesting for next year and start setting some intentions. How am I going to start preparing myself, releasing Scorpio energy, releasing the shit that doesn't serve me anymore? How can I focus on clearing myself out in preparation for all this magical shit I'm manifesting in 2022? Now is the time. This Scorpio energy, today, tomorrow, the next 2 days after that, is the time to really start focusing in on our journey, really making sure that the plans we are moving towards, that we need to move towards to be a better version of ourselves, because there's always more. There's always a bigger version of us that can show up. How can we start clearing all this extra stuff that we don't need anymore? How can we really clear that out so that we are ready when all this beautiful stuff that we're creating comes into place? Okay. So that's really the message today. I do feel like this month we're definitely going to be talking more about next year, preparing for next year, getting ready for what's ahead, and how we can start to really show up much bigger for ourselves. So stay tuned for all of that. Like I said, I am going to be in Instagram a lot more really this month. So you can check me out over there as well. Everywhere I'm WTF with Mo. And I just want to remind you as well, I'll move in our 2-minute tarot. I can't move it into you over there on Instagram, but know that you can always go to WTFwithMel.com/2-minute tarot, or you'll see the link for it on there. It's an opportunity for you to ask me one question. I will pull one card for you and send you a video reply about 2 minutes long, just to give you a little nudge, a little push. If you want to spend some time, you can always book with me. If you just needed that little nudge, then you get it. It's totally free. And it's just a great way for us to kind of meet each other on a quick, fast basis. So make sure that you check that out. If you've got any questions or I can help in any way, you can always reach out. So with that, I will leave you today and stay magical, y'all.